this issue been going on in the world? From all of the hard work and efforts made from feminist movement, how can this issue still run so deeply in the world and in the society? Even worse, why have people been saying that gender inequality has already been resolved? I'm Adni, and I'm gonna talk about 8 ways women still aren't equal yet to men. Now, the feminist movement has made huge strides over the years. Still more than a century since women were given the right to vote. The sad fact of the matter is, gender equality still has a long way to go. Somehow, feminism remains a controversial word, even though the definition itself is impossible to argue with, an effort to make sure every woman and every individual has rights equal than that of a man, no matter what their race, religion, gender identification, sexual preference, or anything else. This sounds like a common sense cause, right? Well, in spite of a plethora of data proving that women are not equal to men in Indonesia or any other part of the country, many people disagree with the premise of feminism, arguing that women are already equal to men, or that their gains haven't matched men because they haven't worked hard enough, or that women and men are inherently different and biologically different and cannot be compared. In actuality, women, especially feminists, consider men also at a disadvantage because of the inequality between men and women. When we socialize men to not show sadness or fear, to provide financially and not emotionally, and to not seek mental health help, to name a few examples, we contribute to a culture that harms both men and women. At the same time, men are statistically at an advantage when it comes to earning power, career progression, and a multitude of other factors. Here are some ways women aren't still yet equal to men, both inside and outside of Indonesia. The first one is the fact that women make less money than their male counterparts. Although right now the pay gap is narrowing, women in Indonesia still makes 23% less than what of their male counterparts earn, according to the International Labour Organization. When someone argues that these cases happen because women are uneducated and aren't smart enough compared to men, then it's completely false. No matter what their education degree, female workers are always paid less than their male counterparts. It's an even grimmer picture overseas. Women worldwide make 77% of what the amount paid to men, according to a report from the United Nations International Labour Organization. The second way is that women enter male-dominated industry, their pay decreases. According to the labor force survey, high-paying jobs are dominated by men. In Indonesia, women take only a quarter of high-paying managerial and supervisory occupation, and how even in these occupations, women are paid less than men. The third way is that women still shoulder more of the household burden. Despite the fact that women are more educated and more employed than ever before, they're still tasked with the majority of household duties. Forbes reported that 54% of women take maternity leave, while only 42% of men take time away from their jobs. Additionally, women are taking 10 times as much temporary leave than men do to be with their newborns, often saddling them with more financial burden. Women are also most likely to work from home, look after sick kids, or even quit their jobs compared to men to completely be caretakers. The fourth way is that only 10 countries offer women full legal protections. Speaking of protections around motherhood, according to a 2021 World Bank study, Indonesians' lack of law around parental leave equal pay and equal pension are extreme, even compared to other Southeast Asian countries. This fact and data meant that Indonesia didn't even crack the top 50 countries that offer women full legal equality with men. In fact, only 10 countries scored a perfect 100% in terms of legislations ensuring equality. The fifth way is that how workplace is still considered a dangerous space for women. Although the Indonesian law already prohibits discriminations in employment based on gender, there is still no legislation on sexual harassment in employment, nor is there criminal penalties or civil remedies for sexual harassment in employment. The same issues apply in the majority of Asia, and it is considered as a global problem. Women are less likely to be promoted from their job or even just to be hired, and they're considered less competent than their male counterparts. The sixth way is how women are underrepresented in government. Although women make up over 50% of Indonesia's population, only 17% of the parliament is comprised of women, according to the Data and Information Center of the National Archive. Even worse, only 14% of the cabinet is comprised of women in 2014, according to BPS. Worldwide, just 25.5% of all national parliamentarians were female as of March 2021, according to the UN. This is a serious problem because the parliament and the cabinet should be a platform for women to be equal to men and to have their rights and needs to be completed by the country. If the majority of it is comprised by men, then how can women represent themselves in politics? The seventh way is that women overall are at a greater risk of rape and domestic violence. The National Domestic Violence Hotline reports that females ages 18 to 34 generally experience the highest rates of intimate partner violence. 81% of these women who may have experienced rape, stalking, physical violence by an intimate partner reported significant short or long-term impacts such as PTSD symptoms and injury. Now lastly is how sexism and the patriarchal mindset is still so deeply stuck in the society. There is no denying how in Indonesia, especially in areas where traditional customs are still prioritized, gender roles and other patriarchal mindset is still happening. This data from BPS shows that majority of men in Jakarta, Jayapura, and Purwokerto still considers a woman's task just to stay at home, cook, and do household chores for their family. Majority still considers a woman's nature and calling is to sacrifice and serve herself for her family. How women shouldn't be loud and confident, to always be submissive, and to not be opinionated. Society, especially in traditional values, prohibits women to be successful and have power, solely not to intimidate their male counterparts. How women are supposed to be elegant, beautiful, and quiet. How women are the one at fault when they receive sexual harassment, claiming it is their clothes or makeup that are inviting men to stare or flirt with them. How offensive terms like pelakor, cewek nakal, feminazi, and other degrading slangs are still normal to be said, even from other women. From these cases, we can include that sexism is still so deeply rooted in this society, so in what way has gender equality has already been achieved? Gender inequality issues coexist. They reinforce and are complementary to one another. If we continue to underestimate and undermine sexism that seem to be harmless, then we, as women, will also be endorsing the idea of sexism itself, even if it is indirectly, and lengthen the tragedy that is called gender inequality. So please, educate yourself and the people around you to prevent this to happen any longer. That's it for me. Thank you for watching.